I've had some good days. I've had some hills to climb.
Off a busy freeway in North Austin lives a shy woman with a beautiful voice, a soft smile, and a determined spirit. Blessing Steen lives in a small apartment with her daughter, pictures of them lining the walls. Although she's trying to make a good home for her child, Steen's own childhood was really rough.
Majority of my childhood was spent with my dad, and he was pretty abusive. He only knew a couple of ways how to take care and discipline children, which was pretty much scream at them, yell at them, feed them, beat them.
She says life at school was tough too. Her teachers did not understand her.
They didn't understand me that much. They knew something was wrong or something was off. And I was a good friend, but as soon as I got crossed or if I felt like you cut me or anything like that, I would lash out.
That something was bipolar disorder. Doctors diagnosed her at 15 and she began taking medicine. She didn't like it.
It can be somewhat of a downer, and I feel like it takes away my character. I'm not as happy. I'm not as outspoken. I'm not as goofy. I'm not myself.
According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, people who are bipolar are most often diagnosed between 15 and 46 years of age. 5.7 million Americans suffer from bipolar disorder. Many more go undiagnosed. Medication often helps reduce symptoms, but there are other strategies that helps people like Steen cope with the disease.
I've had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. I've had some weary days and some sleepless nights.
Journaling, writing poetry, and cooking helps this shy woman persevere. But when times are really rough,
also singing, it can be so soothing at times. There's been times where I'll blare my gospel and just sing along and cry. And that's all I need was just a good cry.
Studies have shown mental illness gone untreated often becomes worse over time. Steen no longer takes medicine because she feels like her life is more manageable without it. She says getting older and growing spiritually has helped her.
Now that I've given my life back to Christ, I feel at peace with myself. I feel like I have peace of mind. I feel like I'm able to handle pretty much anything.
Now 26, Steen has come to grips with her past. She has a good relationship with her father. She's come to learn that her mother also suffers from the same mental illness. With such a strong family history, Steen is concerned about her daughter.
It does scare me, but I try not to look too much into it just yet, because I feel that whatever God allows, it's happening because it's supposed to happen.
Her daughter's well-being she leaves up to God, and anchored by her faith, she embraces her future with confidence.
I am my name. I am a blessing. I am strength. I'm confidence. But when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days, and I won't complain.
Lacey Jones, HT News.
Even with the step stool, getting his 6'1" body into a dumpster is no easy task. It's hard for Jeff Wilson to bend his knees and get in without hurting himself, but he's mastered it. It was a bit harder for me.
Entered you in the dumpster, man. I think this is the first time. Let's close that. Are you claustrophobic?
It would be easy for anyone to be claustrophobic, but believe it or not, this is where Professor Dumpster now lives.
MTV Cribs tour?
Yeah.
This is where I hang with my boys. Got my PlayStation. No, I'm kidding.
The tour doesn't take long.
So it's 36 square feet. We now have a false floor, which is kind of the best new addition. I can pull these boards up and I got all kinds of stuff stored under there. So my sleeping bag, all my clothes, coffee, all that kind of stuff stored under there. We haven't really made any modifications besides that. We got a little Persian carpet on the floor. I've got my water supply there from Town Lake. Probably have to go tomorrow and get some more water. Yeah, it's just generally pretty comfortable. Right now, it's about, 60 degrees.
Right now, he showers and uses his bathroom in HT's residence hall. Everything else he does here, like cooking on a small camp stove.
It's just a little bit of a pain. I'll fire it up so you can hear what it sounds like. Okay. That's what I cook with.
Professor Dumpster's moved a lot in his life, but think he's found a home at Houston-Tillotson University, not just by living in a dumpster, but also being the new dean of university studies and an associate professor of biological sciences. He's using the project to draw attention to science and sustainability. He wants people to see that they can live with less.
And I think it's whatever less harm to the environment or others means to you.
Since the dumpster was delivered in February, it's become a learning lab, and students are coming.
So 5 students have stayed in here just to kind of experience a small space and what it's like in this phase, right, before it gets tricked out.
Eventually, they'll get a composing toilet and solar panels. The project isn't just attracting students, it's also attracting international attention.
We've been on all the major networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, and then I think the most legitimate news story we've got so far was on National Public Radio, on NPR Marketplace. We had a spot. It's been covered all over the world, in London, Europe, South America, Asia. It's been all over the world. And what's great about it is it's just getting exposure for HT.
And that's exactly what Professor Dumpster had in mind for the project.
And that's ultimately what this whole thing's about, is giving the students another kind of experience they wouldn't get anywhere else in the world. This is the only place that something like this is going on at HT, and I think it's pretty important for our students to experience it and learn from it.
Some people would think he'd get lonely or no company in the dumpster, but that's not a problem for him.
Yeah, every once in a while I got people stopping by here that have seen it on the news or on Instagram. A family brought me some coffee the first night I was in here that I had no clue. It was just a big van of people that showed up.
So, how does he feel about his new home?
I'm way happier now than I was in a normal house.
Now that Professor Dumpster is settled in, it's time to look ahead.
It's going to be hot, and we're definitely going to have to move to where we get some AC, like by probably middle of May. I'm gonna try to tough it out though. I'm gonna see how long I can go. During the day, I won't be able to be in here. It's gonna be way too hot.
And as long as the students keep coming, it's okay with him.
First of all, for the students, I want them to get a real experiential learning process on living in less and literally living in the box, and what that feels like, and also to work on developing a project from something that seems a little bit impossible and making it possible. And HT, I want to show the world, right, that we're really moving up, that we're one of the top HBCUs, and really get the word out to the students. And in terms of myself, I just want to stay alive.
And keep his project thriving. Mike Gray Jr., HT News.
All right, see y'all later. I'm out. Literally.
Cabbage, carrots, coconut, peas and rice, plantains, just a few goodies getting cooked up at Tony's Jamaican Food. It's a traditional Caribbean food truck run by Tony Scott, who's taken pride in his cooking ever since he was a child.
Growing up, it was like 4 boys, no girls. We didn't have any sister to do anything. So, our mom always tell us as little kids that, hey, there's 4 things in life a man have to learn to do. A man have to learn to wash, cook, clean, and press.
His truck sits on a plot of sand, rock, and gravel on 11th and Lydia in East Austin, just east of Franklin's Barbecue. Originally from Kingston, Jamaica, he settled in Austin 12 years ago and has been cooking for 4.
You know, I kind of like the environment, you know, I kind of like the place and decide that, okay. You can get steamed cabbage with carrot and rice and peas and fried plantain, vegetarian plate.
All right, sounds good. Let's do that.
You want a vegetarian plate?
Yeah.
All right, coming up in a minute.
His food is a big hit, 4.5 stars on Yelp. People love the oxtail and jerk chicken, and he's famous for his beef patties. Sometimes lines are long.
They come, they enjoy the food, and they love it, and they will tell friends about it and, you know, try to help spread it out there, you know, because people will always go for good food, anywhere it is.
Tony is what Austin is all about. Someone who took advantage of the city's entrepreneurial opportunities, including the growing food trailer market. According to the City of Austin's Environmental Health and Service Division, there has been a 41% jump in the number of applications submitted by potential vendors in the past 5 years. Right now, there are more than 1,200 licensed food trailers operating in the city, and that number is growing. But Tony says he's not worried about competition. He's confident and says his only struggle is the size of his truck.
There's a lot more to add to the menu and, you know, a lot more for people to learn about Jamaican food, even drinks. You know, there's a lot of Jamaican drinks, which, you know, I can't even get to put out here because I don't have the space to deal with it. But in the future, when things rise, you know, it's going to be a lot more to know about Tony's Jamaican food.
He's got big plans for the future, from expanding his menu, adding trucks, and maybe a brick and mortar building.
Business, as I say, you know, you like what you do, people enjoy your food and stuff. It is always good to expand, you know, and that's definitely what I'm trying to do. You know, it might not this year, but definitely next year.
In the meantime, he's all about selling food and supporting his family back in Jamaica. Jamal Scantleberry, HT News.